Yo guys, how's it going? My name's Umzi and welcome back to another Fault video. As you guys can see, this is a completely different setup to what I normally do. Normally there's gameplay in the background, but today I want to go over aspects and itemization within Fault. Now, this video is going to be based more towards people who already have the game and don't understand the item system. And it's also going to be for people who are looking forward to the game but don't understand the item system. Overall, I'm just going to basically explain the item system for you guys. This isn't going to be an how-to video. This isn't going to be my gameplay in the background of anything. This is literally just going to be me on this monitor finding you guys the best things to build when. Now let's get started on aspects. Aspects, basically, before you go into a game, the first screen that you see in a match is your aspects page. So normally you'd see all the aspects from these blue to the reds to the purple to the green to the white. All of these are aspects. Now you get to choose 2 aspects out of all of these for your champions. Basically, I'm here to show you guys what you should be building on who. Let's start straight away with the blue aspects. So the Magician, the Warlock and the Queen. These are 3 aspects that you can only build, in my opinion, on people who have burst damage, because all of these are based towards abilities rather than basic attacks. As you guys can see, for example, Warlock, every 5th ability does 20 extra damage. We also have Magician, damaging an enemy with an ability reduces the cooldown on your ultimate. And finally, reduced 1/3 on area of effect abilities. As you guys can see, these are all based on abilities. Therefore, you'd want burst champions to be using these 3 aspects. In my opinion, Lieutenant Bellica, Gideon, and Countess are the only 3 that you should be building with these. However, you can build blue aspect on Sevrog and Quang, as they do have, their kit does rely highly on their abilities. Now, next, let's go straight into the red aspects. These are aspects that are more towards basic attacks, so people who do damage with their basic attack. Obviously, this will go towards the ADCs, in my opinion. This is Twin Blast, this includes Murdoch, this includes Sparrow. However, the honorable mentions are if you are going to do damage, if you're going for a damage build with Chimera, Steel, Boris, Quang, and Greystone. One thing I do want to state is that these do not include jungle minions. For example, additional 3 gold on lane minion kills if an ally is within 2200 units. This is a lane minion, therefore jungle minions, which are counted as neutral minions, will not be included. So this is why I wouldn't prioritize it on junglers. However, you can go with junglers if you're going to be ganking quite a lot and stealing a bit of farm from each lane. Now, going into the purple aspects, these are a bit different. These are more towards assassins. In my opinion, there isn't a single champion that you really should be building with this aspect currently. When someone like Kalari shows up in the game, which eventually will happen, then these will be used. However, you can see why this would be not used on any champion currently. Going straight into the green aspects, these are aspects that you want to build towards tanks and people who will have to survive a fight. So we should be building this on junglers mostly and supports, including Sevrog, Chimera, Steel, Boris, Quang, and Greystone. Honorable mentions, you can build these on supports, as you do want your supports to survive the fight as much as possible, because they are going to be helping your team as much as possible if they do survive the fight a lot. These include Titan, Rook, and Beast Hunter. As you guys can see, this is all leaning more towards junglers, because you can see each of this having neutral minions in its dialogue. One thing I do want to mention is that a lot of these heroes that I am mentioning here, they are going to have different builds. So each, depending on the enemy comp, you're going to build different things. However, some people will build the same thing every single time. An example of this is Sevrog. Sevrog, normally I build Titan with Beast Hunter as the main 2 aspects. However, if I'm up against a team with a lot of CC, like a Chimera, a Steel, we can have a Narvash, we'll have some Murdoch with his slows and his shield. We'll also have something like a Bellica with her stuns. Something like that, you'd want to build Rook, because this is much more beneficial than something like Beast Hunter because of the CC difference. Next person I want to talk about are the supports. These are lent more towards white aspects. as you can see, this is all based on your allies, your potions, your heals and your shields, wards. This is all stuff that the support is mostly in charge of. Therefore, the white aspects go more towards someone like Muriel and Narbash. I don't believe anyone else should be building these three. Before I go into items, I want to talk about these things called favors. Favors are what you receive within the game for killing stuff like, for ADCs, if they get kills, for example. I believe supports if they get assists. However, if you kill something like Prime, if you kill the Raptors, all of these give you these things called favors. Now, favors you should be building into right at the top of the shop. You will see favors and a plus sign next to the aspects that you have chosen. Each aspect, each favor, boosts the power of a fully completed item. So, for example, if I build these aspects, so Beast Hunter or Titan, and I end up choosing Sevarog as my hero, and I build something that has tank items, something like Baalam or T-Fist, each green favor will help my Baalam and T-Fist become stronger. Therefore, there is no point putting my favor into a different color. Now, let's get straight into items. First of all, the items that all heroes should be using. Specifically, Health Pot and Mana Pot is during your first items, and maybe a Sentry Ward. These are items that every single hero should be building. Other items include Dispel Dust, Gate Scroll, Minion Detonator, and Omni Potion. You don't have to build them, but if they're situational, I would recommend taking them. However, another item that I do want to talk about is Affliction. Affliction is a very, very important item for the jungler, because Affliction is like a smite that does damage to neutral minions or a monster, and you heal for 30% of the damage dealt. The reason why this is so good is because it allows you to have sustain in jungle. This is the item that prevents you from dying to red buff and blue buff. This is the reason you won't die to that, and normally has 2 charges, which is really good. So suppose you do 1000 damage late game, this heals you for 300 damage if you target a neutral minion or monster. Furthermore, you can use Affliction to steal objectives. So if there's a Raptor that's less than 800 HP, quickly go in, use Affliction, and you steal it from whoever's been using it. Specifically saying this is, for example, the enemy team taking Raptors, you can quickly go in, use your Affliction, quickly get out. You've stolen it with 0 effort. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the rest of the items. So let's talk about the blue items. So these are the items that you should be building on the burst champions from last time. However, other than just Bellica, Gideon, Countess, Sevarog, and Quang, sorry I forgot his name for a sec, you should also sometimes build Muriel within one of these items. I'll say which item it is in a second. With this, so every single item here either buffs your energy damage, or it gives you mana, or it gives you some sort of cooldown. Everything that these guys require to be pretty unstoppable in a fight. Specifically speaking, Mana Lens is an item, this one here, is an item that gives you a lot of mana, as suggested in the name. This is why you would probably want to build this on Muriel, because you want as much mana possible in order to help give as many shields as possible. Next is the red items. These are all the red items. These should all be built towards Twin Blast and everyone who is on the red aspect tree. As you guys can see, there is a resemblance and a relevance to choosing a specific color. If you chose red as your aspects, you build red items. If you chose blue as your aspects, you choose blue items, etc, etc. Purple items, not many people go for them, other than I know Jar of Hearts is a good item on Chimera. These are like assassin type of items. And another good thing about these items is like, I am pretty sure they have a lot of lifesteal. So if you're building someone like Chimera, this is a good shout. However, not many heroes would be using purple items in this game so far. Next, the green items. Let's go straight into the green items. We've got Sevarog, Chimera, and all the junglers, Steel, Boris, Quang, Greystone, and also the 2 supports, Muriel and Narbash. This is because these are the items that make you tanky. You always want to be using these items to stay tanky. The next item, the white items, these are all the items that you should be building on the 2 supports, because these items are items that reduce your CD, your cooldown, they also give you mana, and they give some sort of benefit to your teammates. For example, Robe of Miracles is an item that gives healing in an area that I think it's like 20% healing to all your teammates in a specific radius. Siren's Call increases your healing in your shields. So these two are normally items that you always want to go for as supports. Blessings of the Divine is pretty similar to Robe. However, instead of healing, it gives a shield. So these three coupled together, you can actually make a pretty dang good support build. These items that I've highlighted in red, I want to go over these. These are the situational items. Nirvana Jewel is an item that gives you stasis. Stasis is basically immunity for 3 seconds, however you can't move and you can't use abilities. The reason why this can be so good is because, for example, if you're against the Countess or you're about to get ulted by a Sevrog or something along those lines, so if you're getting ulted by Countess, for example, you can use Nirvana Jewel, activate stasis, and you take 0 damage from all of that. Or you don't get knocked back. Cursed Remnant is a really good item when you're up against people who have a lot of healing, for example a Chimera or a Countess. This causes trauma when you hit someone. Trauma is a specific effect that reduces healing by 50%, I believe. Next item, King's Castle. This is really good on specifically Murdoch and Sparrow. This is because it adds a dash. This card causes a dash if you press the active button. The reason why this is so good is because these two people don't actually have any mobility in their kit. Sparrow especially, because Murdoch obviously has a shield, so it kinda can protect him, but Sparrow has literally 0 mobility. She can't escape. However, adding King's Castle to your build, you basically give her an escape. Or if you're playing someone like Twin Blast, this is really good because this gives you not only an escape, but it also gives you something to go into enemies with to try and catch up. Unyielding Mantle is an item that helps you if you're versing a lot of CC. For example, if you're versing a Sevrog, a Steel, a Quang, a Gideon, stuff like that, it reduces the CC. So for example, it cleanses you, which basically means it gets rid of all CC and it makes you immune to all CC for the next 2 seconds. Stormquiver is the fully upgraded version of Affliction, aka the Smite. This is a really good item. I recommend it 24/7 whenever you're jungling. That's literally the most basic I could have gone into when it comes to itemization and aspects. The last thing I want to talk about is the first item on all these lists. So this Warlock wears the Boots of the Hunt, Shadow Steps, Inertia Wraps, and Boots of Haste. These are all boots. They all cost maximum 1100. Should be your second item in my opinion. Your first item should be your biggest power spike. Your second item should be the boots. Don't ever play a game without boots, because boots can be the difference between your life and death, or a kill and you missing out on a kill. This is because these give you movement speed. Nothing else in the game, I believe, gives you movement speed other than maybe some abilities like Muriel's right click and Narbash's Q. These, in my opinion, you really, really need. That finishes my video on itemization and aspects. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm going to be doing way more in the future. I'm going to be doing how to play specific heroes, where I go into specific what you should be building with each specific hero. I did say specific a lot throughout this whole video, but you know. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment down below what you guys do want to see, because I want to give you guys exactly what you want to see. Thank you for watching, and peace.